I reached burnout more than once. I feel very anxious, very unsure, searching for external validation. And my friends were like, Steph, we've never seen you like this before. And you're doing a lot, you're doing too much, but you just you keep going and you're like, no, it's okay. And I'll rest at the weekend. And then you don't rest and it just snowballs. It manifests as something in the body, like a lump or a bump, or really injure yourself that it forces you to slow down and to actually stop. Might say you run to your mum crying and your mum says, oh, it's okay. Big girls don't cry, big boys don't cry. You feel then that you can't express your emotions as you're growing up. You grow up, you're now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, but your nervous system is still actually operating from that experience. A lot of people are operating too much from the masculine. So that's like logic, structure, work hard, put in the work, 5 coffees, exactly. But where's the fun and the joy? Yeah, because a lot of us, well, not everybody, but if you do work at a computer, then you're watching TV in the evenings, then you're scrolling on your phone. Like it's all this technology and overstimulation. And we have such a tendency at times to focus on what we didn't do or what we did wrong or what we should have done or could have done. With our gut health. So they're now saying that our gut is our first brain. So I used to do a 28-day gut cleanse. Every single person that did this program said that their mental health had improved.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Bold Moves, the podcast where we empower men to be bold, be brave, and be you. I'm Ayu, your host, and today's guest speaker is someone special. She is an award-winning coach, woman and mindset coach, as well as wellness coach. Oh boy, today I've learned so much. We talked about nervous system and and the importance of regulating our nervous system. She also talked about burnout, why burnout happens and how to prevent burnout. We also talk about gut health, which turns out a very important thing that we tend to forget. You are going to love this episode because Stephanie will teach you a lot about wellness, the connection in our body, our nervous system, our gut health, and everything in between. Let's welcome our coach today, Stephanie. All right. Hi, how are you, Stephanie?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited for today. And thank you so much for doing this with me today. I know we are in different time zone. You are in where today?
I'm in Ireland, yes.
You're in Ibiza. So, and yeah, let's just get started.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for having me.
No, I'm happy to do that. So you are an award-winning mindset and empowerment as well as wellness coach, isn't it correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So before we get into deep talking about all of those beautiful things, just for the context for the audience, can you briefly tell us about your coaching? Like who is it for? Maybe a little bit of your clients or your approach, some things like that.
Perfect. Yeah. So I guess I cover a wide range of modalities when I help clients. And I also studied NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistics Programming. So this helps bring clients, I guess, not so supporting thought patterns, behaviors, and beliefs from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. So becoming very aware and then making healthy changes where applicable. And I help clients. So I work with corporate teams as well as women to help regulate their nervous system and prevent future burnout. I worked in the corporate world for over 10 years. So I can see firsthand the pressures of working the 9 to 5 or sometimes 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 8 p.m., commuting, having children as well, pickups and drop-offs and trying to, do your job description plus a million other things. And also women, as I've ran women's circles in the past and just from working previously with clients, I feel a lot of a main issue that stems with a lot of clients comes back to their levels of self-worth, not feeling deserving of their desires, not feeling good enough. And a lot of this then going deeper, stems back to their nervous system, the state of their nervous system, and whether they actually feel safe in their own body or not. So probably
So
something that a
you
lot of people
realize,
overlook. Yeah, but it's so important. Yes. Yeah.
well, that's a beautiful thing to do. Look, I've never come across like a coach that talk about nervous system. There might be, but it's just like I
Mm.
was thinking you were more about burnt out, but actually you're also focusing on the nervous system, which is very important for
Mhm.
human to know, especially nowadays in this modern lifestyle. And not
Yes.
not many really understand about nervous system. I remember the biology in my high school talking about that, and no one paid
Mhm.
attention to it at that time. But
Yeah.
then it's very, very important. It turns out it's very important. There must be interesting story, a personal one behind your mission to help people and women through
Mhm.
your coaching. So what makes you jump into this type of coaching and help people to avoid burnt out and regulate their nervous system? There must be uh, like turning point story or things like that. Do you mind to share?
Yes, of course. So I studied all about the nervous system when I was training a number of years ago to become a massage therapist. So learned all about
Oh,
the anatomy and the nervous system. And when I was studying to become a coach as well, I learned about it. But it's, again, as you say, learned about it, but kind of forgot about it. And I was helping clients first with their gut health and weight loss. And then with my own journey in life, I reached burnout more than once, and I didn't know what was wrong. Doctors didn't know what was wrong. And I came to the conclusion, I think I went for acupuncture, and she said, your nervous system is shot. That's what she said to me. So I really pulled back from drinking caffeine. I didn't even lift weights for a period of time. I
okay.
don't drink much alcohol, but I just quit alcohol at the time.
Mhm.
And yeah, just was really living like a quiet, non-stressful, as much as possible, period of my life at that time to re-regulate my nervous system. And then I noticed a few years later that some things that would have never once bothered me really started to trigger me. So it was about every 2 or 3 months, something would trigger me, and this feeling in my body would last for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'd feel very anxious, very
Oh,
unsure, searching for external validation. And my
uh-huh.
mum and my friends were like, we're happy to help, but they were like, Steph, we've never seen you like this before. And I was like, I felt so strange. I felt so weird and like even uncomfortable in my own body. And,
Very
I was
you.
doing, yeah, and I was like doing all my normal things of meditating, journaling, grounding, but they were all really short lived. So I went for one therapy session, and we basically came to the conclusion that it was to do with my nervous system and feeling safe in my body. And it was like this missing jigsaw piece to these previous triggers and just other stages in my life. So it was a real, I guess, like groundbreaking moment for me in my personal life and also my business, because I've loved working with clients, but I've always wondered what's the deepest way I can help them, or to help them feel this long-term success or be able to re-regulate themselves in moments of stress. And yeah, since I've pivoted my business, I've been getting amazing results, and just linking clients back to their current self and previous versions of themselves. It's just, yeah, it's really, really interesting to me because it's something that we can often overlook. It's really tapping into the body, getting in tune with our body, and yeah, seeing what's going on. I really believe our body is always in constant communication with us. But with this like fast-paced world that we live in, it's just running late, or we need to check this email, and all the stimulation of electronics and everything. It's like we're energy beings. We get electric shocks, right? So it's like all this stimulation sometimes is just too much. And then that's what leads to burnout.
All right. Let's dive into the nervous system, your specialty, and you in your coaching, you talk a lot about that. Just for everyone to be on the same page, because sometimes what is that? Because we forgot, we learned about that a long time ago. And
Yes.
so let's start with what is nervous system regulation and why is it important for our health in our daily life?
Sure. Okay. So there's two main states that our nervous system will be in, and we want to be in the parasympathetic state more often than not. So that is it. They also say it's like rest and digest. So when you're relaxed, when you're eating, when you're going for a walk, and this is the baseline where we want it to be. And then we also have the sympathetic nervous system, which is how you might feel if you're about to get on stage to sing or you're giving a presentation. You're going to feel nervous before. If you're competing in a competition, going for a job interview. So you've the butterflies in your stomach, feel a little bit nauseous, maybe a mix of excitement and fear. And these are all natural feelings and they're okay temporarily. When your nervous system is dysregulated, that is when people are in this state more often than not. So that's when you're waking up.
Dysregulated.
So waking up feeling fearful, panicky, tight chest, racing thoughts, always seeking external validation, nervous, and which can eventually lead to burnout. Also, if you've got a huge workload at work every single day, it's just too much and you can see the work piling up and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. So all of this relates back to like caveman days when we would have been cavemen and cave women. And if you're going out to look for food and you're, to survive, if you're met with a big tiger and your body automatically then shifts into the sympathetic state. So your eyes will dilate that you've hypervision, blood vessels will open up. So there's more blood being able to pump to your heart and around your body so that you can move quicker to run away. And your digestive system will close up. You just will not feel hungry so that you can literally move on a lighter load in your body. So our bodies are amazing and it's doing its job in these moments. It's trying to keep us safe. And what will happen in that moment of nowadays getting triggered, maybe your boss says something, maybe somebody pulls out in front of you when you're driving and you just feel that feeling immediately through your body. So you might freeze, you just get such a fright. Flight is when you want to run, or fight is when you might want to shout at the person, you get really aggressive. So there's different ways that you can react, sometimes without you even realizing or intending for that to be a reaction. And again, this is our body doing its job, it's trying to keep us safe. So when this happens,
feeling.
Exactly. But when our body is in this state, 80 or 90% of the time, it's very unhealthy for us and it's just causing more stress. And this is what will eventually lead to that burnout. So it's about coming back to you, re-regulating yourself in moments of stress and communicating with yourself that it's okay. We don't have a bear coming to chase us and a tiger coming from this way. It's just our manager or it's just our kids.
Different tigers nowadays.
Yes, but it's not life-threatening. That's what we need to communicate with ourselves. And again, trying to figure all this out just in your mind, it can get very confusing.
Oh, so that is very interesting, the things that you just explained about the tigers back then, because of course our bodies back then and then, but again, like life nowadays, like I said, different tigers, and it creates that I'm start using your language like dysregulated nervous system.
Very good.
Because so what you're trying to say, if we are in that kind of like stage for a long period of time, it will become dysregulated and it's unhealthy for us. Like it becomes, I don't know, like hyper aware of things and anxiety that is the stress that is not helpful. Well, stress sometimes keeps you going, make you do things, you make a list and you go on. But when you are under this stress, for a long period of time. You wake up
Mhm.
in the morning feeling
Mm.
shitty, and then you see your phones, everything, and you start
Mm.
comparing, and then
Yeah.
so it's
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 like all these
starting. You have
layers.
so it's
Mm.
dysregulated. Then your nervous
Mhm.
system start to kind of like imbalance when you feel that way, uncomfortable and tense, and
Yeah. Yes, and it can actually stay in that state because if, again, it comes back to safety, if you don't feel safe in your body, which you might be like, I'm fine, I'm okay, but subconsciously, if you don't feel safe, because it might be something that happened years ago that triggered you.
Mhm.
So this is the other part of it. Something, if maybe when you could have fallen over as a child and your mum might say, you run to your mum crying and your mum says, oh, it's okay. Big girls don't cry. Big boys don't cry. And then you can be like, okay. But you feel then
Like
that you can't express your emotions as you're growing up, or something that if it was scary that happened to you when you were younger, or if you're made to feel unloved, unwanted, it could be something that happened once or multiple times. You grow up, you're now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, but your nervous system is still actually operating from that experience.
true,
It hasn't
true. Mhm.
like caught up with you logically that everything is okay now. We can provide for ourselves. We're loved. We're in a loving family. So it's really about healing the nervous system and communicating that
Mhm.
everything is okay now. Otherwise, yes, that's when you can feel the tight chest, heaviness, because your body is literally scanning all day for
Yeah.
safety and looking for these unsafe situations that can just keep you in that dysregulated state. Yeah, but it
How
can all
our
change.
body incredible.
Mm.
Our body is just incredible. They
It's
want
doing
to
its
tell you that,
job.
hey, you're
Yeah,
not okay. Like
yeah,
do something
yes,
different. And
yeah.
sometimes you don't realize it. Sometimes what I hear a lot is when I get stressed a lot of pressure. It happened to me
Hmm.
2 years ago. I got
Okay.
this horrible neck pain, and
Wow.
it's just horrible. Like I couldn't even got up, because if I try to get up, it's just very painful. And I started, of course, the doctor gave me painkillers and everything, and I started
Yes.
to realize I have to sit and think what happened,
Mm,
because I
mm,
couldn't get out of bed because of it's very painful. And then I started to realize that, oh, there is so much happening at this time,
mm.
and maybe it's my body telling me that I look, you've got to rest. You can't handle this much.
This
And I started to take like a break a little bit, instead of
good.
just going thinking about
Pushing.
a lot of things. And I
Mm,
started to, okay, let's do today, let's relax, let's do something fun. And it
yeah,
started to go away. It started to go
amazing.
away, the pain and everything. And I think you're right. That is my actually
Mm,
part of my nervous system telling me, and my body
mhm.
telling me that stop. This is not
Yes.
healthy. This stress is not healthy for you. Do you think so? Is it
Oh,
something?
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we keep pushing, and you can even maybe sometimes hear a little voice in the back of your head like, you're doing a lot, you're doing too much, but you just you keep going and you're like, no, no, it's okay, and I'll rest at the weekend, and then you don't rest because you want to be
No.
social or you're trying to catch up on work, and it just snowballs. And then yeah, it can get to a point that it manifests as something in the body, like a lump or a bump, or you really injure yourself that it forces you to slow down and to actually stop. And a lot of this as well relates back to our masculine and feminine energy. So we all have both in our body. And if you
Yeah,
look
I
at the
agree.
world, yeah, if you look at the world as a whole, a lot of people are operating too much from the masculine. So that's like logic, structure, work hard, put in the work, 9 to 5, you got your commute, you're working after hours,
Grinding,
grinding
sp-
up early,
pushing.
5 coffees, exactly. But where's the fun and the joy? So the feminine it's not going around in like a pink tutu and, looking all pretty. A part of it, yes, if you want to wear a pink tutu, go for it. But it's about leaving your inner child come out to play. Like, are you having fun? Are you having self-care evenings? Are you looking after yourself? Like, are you having fun, or are you just keep running in this rat race? Or are you actually enjoying life? That is just going to
Oh my
help your
God, I
nervous
love the way
system
you say it.
so much.
I remember life was not like this before when we were a child,
Mm,
because I think we were a bit free at that time. And
mm,
it's just, you're free to have imagination. You don't really think about what society is going to think of you, that masculine, that
mm,
feminine, this and
mhm,
that. And
mhm.
of course, when we were a child, the inner child is very pure energy. Like,
Yeah,
it's pure.
yes,
And then
yes.
you grow up,
That's
the
giving me
society kind
goosebumps.
of like shapes you, like
Yeah,
shapes you. You
yeah.
should be this, you should be
Mhm.
that. You cannot be this
Yes.
feminine. You cannot be this masculine. And it's
Yes.
just too much.
It's too much, exactly, and then comparing and have to jump on this trend, and yeah, as we get older, different things can be said, or we have different life experiences, and it can just create this hard exterior shell around us, or
Okay.
maybe layers and layers and layers, that you just feel so maybe distant from, yeah, even like being like a woman or feeling feminine. I went through this myself. And you can still be going to the gym and wearing the nice clothes, but if you just don't feel good and safe and relaxed, it can be very hard to feel really good about yourself. And there's nothing to do with, um, looks or weight. It's like this
No,
feeling you have inside you. It's that essence of, yeah, just feeling really happy and doing things that you love. I just feel a lot of
because
us
you
are.
want to do it, not because you want
Yeah.
to
No,
get
exactly.
you want a certain body that you want it, because it becomes
Mm,
pressure then if you go to the
yes.
gym or doing the sports just because I want this figure. And
Yes.
it becomes like a pressure, because you're not doing it
Totally.
for you, for
Yeah.
fun. You're doing
Yes.
it for that thing.
Yes.
um the
Yes.
figure,
Yes.
the hourglass body, like right
Mm,
now.
yeah.
And I'm very
Oh.
curious about it in this modern lifestyle, fast
Mm,
paced, everything instant. um
yeah.
what are the common habits that dysregulate the nervous system easily?
Mm,
Because life now, even me, I really feel that is very fast paced. And what are
yeah.
the common habits that we all do that actually is not good for our nervous
Mm,
system?
I would say being on and around technology maybe too much versus being out in nature or grounding, having our bare feet on
Mhm.
the ground. There's so many studies on the power of this. And I guarantee if it's not like freezing cold outside, if you can have your bare feet on the earth, like maybe in a forest, you can even visualize this from indoors, but I think it's nice to go outside, or having your bare feet on the sand at the beach just for like 10
Oh yes.
minutes, just breathing, no phone, no technology. I guarantee, well, I'd be surprised if you didn't feel just a little bit better within the next 24 hours, because it just regulates you, right? It's being out in nature and
Nature.
no, all this like, yeah, because a lot of us, well, not everybody, but if you do work at a computer, so you might be working on a computer, then you're watching TV in the evenings, then you're scrolling on your phone. Like it's all this technology and overstimulation, and your mind is taking in information and working and trying to
Mhm.
make sense of everything that's going on. So definitely getting out in nature more, with no phone and just taking some time to yourself. This is just going to really relax your body. And you'll get answers from this. Like, I really feel that when we're quiet, this is when our intuition can come through and we get those
Absolutely.
ideas, and we can look at situations from another perspective. And it's like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. And oh, I can do this, or maybe I can ask for help. Like, when we're constantly under stress and you
Busy.
look at your phone as a distraction, it's still you're not getting enough quiet time. So I think that's the main one. And
Too much
eating,
technology that we use.
yeah,
Yeah.
too much technology.
For the
Yeah.
first one. What do you think the second one would be? Is it something with food or oh,
Yeah, I would
mm,
probably think food, and yeah, meditation is amazing, but definitely aiming for eating whole foods more often than not. So I like to say the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time eating, if you eat meat, eat meat, fish, eggs, foods with no or little ingredients in them. So my mom used to always say anything out of a pack is crap. So
That
just
is a really good
keeping,
saying.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So like the biscuits or even pastries, okay, they're really lovely, but if you can avoid having 5 a day, you're going to notice a difference in your body, right? Because they're not very highly nutritious. And yeah, your fruits, vegetables, when you eat well, you just feel so much better, and you have a clearer mind. You don't have brain fog. You'll be sleeping better, and yeah, less sugar.
I love this session. This is like a reminder. I actually, when you say all of these things, I've been forgetting. I mean, I've done some of the things that you said, but it's important to have someone or just a reminder to, hey, keep doing that. And sometimes it slipped. Like I said to you
Yes,
in the
yes.
morning, okay, I'm not going to look at my phone. And I've done that for like 5 days, and day 6, I was like, oh, it's okay. And then I started to realize, oh my God, 35 minutes I've been looking to my phone and I've got nothing that I can learn from it. And I feel guilty. Like,
Oh, or we usually don't even remember what we've looked at, right? Like, we just don't remember.
because I feel the reason I feel guilty is because, oh yeah, I'm looking at this. And then after that, oh my God, it's been 40 minutes that I'm still on the bed. I haven't done anything this morning. And then I feel that guilt. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Look, your day now is ruined because now you're feeling guilty. You're going to carry this feeling whole day. And like I said to you, when that happens, I go to the mirror, and then it's just
Well
like, because in the mirror, I can talk to myself. Sounds crazy, but I love
No,
that because I can
yes,
see my eyes and kind of like,
yes,
we are fine. We're not going
yes.
to carry that today. Let's
Amazing.
just keep it positive. And that helps a lot. That when
Absolutely. Yes, and just having, the self-awareness to do that. Like, we have such a tendency at times to focus on what we didn't do or what we did wrong or what we should have done or could have done.
True.
How about looking at everything else that you've achieved in the past week or the past day, just reflecting and like, oh, I did this. I went for a walk.
Beautiful.
I, had a glass of water first thing instead of my coffee. Just little things, they all add up, and you're impressing your conscious and your subconscious mind then. And it's like, oh, okay, we're doing good. This feels good. And you build momentum that way for sure.
Beautifully said. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. That helps me. It's like a reminder. I'm in Bali, and I have beautiful beaches in here. And this conversation remind me tomorrow I'm going. I'm going to the
Oh,
beach
lovely.
barefoot.
Yes.
Because sometimes
Yeah.
I'm caught up. Okay, I have to make this content. I have to
I
do these
know.
emails, and I have to. And it started.
Yeah.
Oh my God, going to the beach, and I have to bring this. And it started. Okay, maybe tomorrow. And this conversation reminds me that, look, nature girl, go back to nature, because I love it.
Yay.
I love
Yeah,
that.
we all
And
do.
thank
Yeah.
you for that. You've mentioned you help people to heal their gut health before, right? I'm
Yes.
very interested in this. The reason is I had breakouts, kind of
Okay.
like months ago. And then I went to a coaching here in Bali about wellness as well. So
Yes.
and she started to remind me, how's your diet? What you've been eating? And it's kind of like, oh my God. So remember, gut health. So that's why I'm interested in this. And then I've heard that gut is like our second brain. Can I ask you, what's the connection between our gut health and our nervous system? Is there any connection
Yeah.
between that?
Yeah. So, well, everything's connected in us, right? And with our gut health. So they're now saying that our gut is our first brain, because there's more neurotransmitters going from our gut to our brain rather than from our brain to our
Brain.
gut. So yes, which is crazy. And
Wow.
the connection, yes. So the connection with our nervous system, it all ties back to anxiety, mental health, and basically, yeah, you are what you eat, right? So when I used to work with
Mm.
clients, I used to do a 28-day gut cleanse, and every single person that did this program said that their mental health had improved. And there was people who had
Wow.
depression, before, and it really just showed them the power, and the proof is in what they're eating. It's
What are those foods?
yeah, it's just what I just said. It's just like whole foods, basically, like your
Yeah, you said that.
vegetables, fruit, vegetables, whole foods as much as possible. Limit alcohol for a certain amount of time. Because we have good and bad bacteria in our gut. So when we're
Mhm.
eating more processed foods, that's when there's too much bad bacteria and there's an imbalance. And that's when you can feel very fearful, have those racing thoughts, feel very uncomfortable. Maybe you're not sleeping right, low energy. And then this all just adds in then to, if you do have a very high pressure job and you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, you're going to hit burnout. It's
Oh,
almost inevitable. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and that's true. When I was working before 9 to 5, more like, well, 9 to 9 or some things like that. It's
Wow.
long.
A
It
lot.
was, and yeah, I was autopilot because I did that for 2 years, and everything was autopilot. Like I didn't have that enjoyment of life anymore.
Yeah.
Everything was flat, I might say. Like, yeah, okay, yeah,
Just
okay. I
rolling
wake
into
up,
the
yeah,
next day.
okay. And I felt like life was not enjoyable anymore. I mean, it was like very flat, and the
Mm.
burnt out. I didn't know I was burnt out
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
think people with burnout didn't really know they
A
are
lot of the time. Mm. They don't know.
until someone close, kind of like you're not yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
Really,
Yeah. Yeah.
really, and then
Yeah.
I started to look into that, and I just realized it's more like self-awareness and reflecting
Mm.
on what's
Mm-hmm.
going on, what happened with life lately. And then, yeah, I started to realize, oh my God, yeah, it's not enjoyable. So, what I was doing at that time, I actually start doing things that for me that is fun, and then it
Love
helped.
it.
Of
Great.
course, it took time. It took time. It is just very not uncomfortable. It's not the life that I wanted. I'm very this kind of person. I like to go outside, but let's go to the beach. Can't be bothered. Let's go here. I don't know. I have
Yeah.
to work
Yeah.
tomorrow, so I can't go out for that long. So, and it's just like very
Yes.
limiting. Yeah, I'm sure many want to know this. Let's go back a little bit to the gut health. Can you please share some simple, practical changes people can make
Mhm.
to support their gut health? Is it stress part of it? Is it stress? Is it only food or for gut health that is important?
No, yeah,
What else?
stress as well. So stress causes inflammation in the body, and
Mm.
it can be what starts off a lot of diseases, really. Stress is, it's really unhealthy to feel stressed a lot of the time. Again, our stress relates to our nervous system. And if you are stressed, sometimes I've been there, like I remember years ago when I was working in an office, if I had to do a really challenging task or I get this email from a client or my manager with something I needed to do, I'd be like, okay,
Mhm.
before I get into this, I'm going to go to the vending machine. I'm going to get some chocolate, but it's like,
Oh,
it was like a distraction or like an escape that I'm going to get this little reward first
yeah,
and then go into this task. And it's fine eating chocolate and crisp, but you really don't want that being the main part of your diet because there's no nutritional value in them,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
yeah, if you are stressed, taking note of what your, I like to say, like your crutch is. Is it alcohol every evening?
Mhm.
Is it vaping? Is it smoking?
Mm.
Like doing these things, I see them as you want to escape your current reality. You want to go
Mhm. I
escape
agree.
what's in front of you, numb the pain, maybe go to an altered state of consciousness. And it's about, okay, why are you doing this? how often are you doing it, and can you replace it with something that will actually be of
Okay.
benefit to you? Because it feels good in the moment, but there's not usually a benefit to it long term or after the moment has passed.
I was just saying
Yes,
everything is connected, because I was asking
very much.
about nervous system and gut health, and
Yeah.
just some practical changes people can do to start to know more. Like, look, you have to take care of your gut health. What
Yeah.
kind of food? Is it only whole food? It's whole foods, yeah? So less junk food, processed food, more whole
Yeah.
foods.
Yeah, and some people take probiotics, but I usually think, I say if you have a colorful, varied diet, there's usually no need for them. And then you can eat fermented foods as well, like your kimchi, and they're very good for your gut and for your gut health. They're very nutritious for it. I personally don't like the taste, so I don't eat it. Yeah. And you can, what else? And it's, yeah, seeing how your skin is, like you said, you went through a bit of a period and
Yeah,
yeah, so our face can tell a lot in terms of if foods are agreeing with us or not. So some people might be gluten intolerant or dairy intolerant, and this can really slow our system down and make you feel fatigued, make you feel really sluggish and tired. But yeah, we have to get to the bottom of that first and see, is it related to the food that you're eating, or is it you're just very stressed at work? But again, it's all usually quite linked. Yeah.
yeah, it's all linked. And now that you explained, because I was thinking we're talking about nervous system, and then we talk
Mm.
about gut health, and it is actually connected, like the stress,
Yes.
the food, and everything. And then back to my experience again. Yes, at that time when I had that breakout, I love cooking at home. At that time, I was
Oh,
busy
fab.
with work and everything, and then okay, let's just buy food outside. Let's just
Mm.
buy this outside. So it's not, I might say, healthy anymore for
Mm.
me. For me, I'm just saying it for in my perspective. So, and then the stress coming in, and then it affects my skin for me. And I start to realize it happened 2 times, 3 years ago, and then last year. And I was like, I keep repeating that. This is the second time happened. So
Yeah.
that really matters. What I eat, the stress and everything,
Yes.
it affects. Because before I understand, yeah, you don't eat oily foods and everything because you're acne prone skin. But then I now understand is your gut health. Maybe the bacteria in there, I don't have enough
It
good
doesn't.
bacteria. Because
When you were saying earlier about going to the gym because you want to look a certain way, it's the same with eating healthy, but it's about why are you doing it? It should be because you want to have more energy. You want to be able to help your elderly parents or be able to run after your kids. Really getting clear on why you want it will encourage you to actually want to eat these more nutritious, higher vibrational foods. Yeah.
So look, before we are wrapping up,
Mhm.
I just want you to kind of like give a message or something for the audience out there, for someone listening,
Yeah.
who might be struggling whether with the burnt out or their mental health, or feeling stuck is the worst sometimes, or in any major life changes, right? That can bring,
Yeah.
the sympathetic, that's the word.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
the
Yes.
you have learned something. um, what's one practical tool from you, from Stephanie,
Mm,
they can try today, as soon as possible when they finish listening, to regulate their nervous system for people who
mhm.
might be struggling with that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would just like to say you will be okay. I always feel that these times, they build who we are, don't they? They just give us so much more resilience. And when you do get over it, you're like, whew, okay. And I feel it's like a part of life. It's like we're all on our own life journey, but all these times I really do feel will stand to us in the future. Like me feeling so uncomfortable for a long time. Now I'm actually helping people with this. I would say instead of doing and maybe you have your morning routine down, but it's just not shifting you or it doesn't feel right. Instead of doing more, actually just be. So just surrender into what's going on. Remind yourself that you are still here. your breathing. You woke up this morning, and honestly, I would say, yeah, going to the beach if you can, anywhere that's just outside for like 10 minutes with no phone. And people might be like, oh, that's easy. But for some reason now, the times we're living in, it's like we always bring our phone. We're always checking our phone. So maybe 5 minutes if
We
you could go
are.
outside. If not, inside, and just breathe. Just hand on
Yeah.
your heart or your chest, hand on your womb or your stomach, and just deep breaths and close your eyes and just breathe for a couple of minutes. And for me, that always just like brings me back, and I'm like, okay. And it would just, you will probably get some insight of what you should do next or what you could do. Just giving yourself that quiet time and having self-compassion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's and my another
Breathe.
reminder today from Stephanie. So everyone, just be, because sometimes we are overthinking, overdoing. To go to the nature and maybe 5 or 10 minutes without the phone. And
Yes.
it's difficult right now, but that's your challenge for today, everyone.
Yes, it
If
is.
you can
Yes.
do it.
Yeah, or just instead of trying to seek all the answers externally or, asking other people and worrying and thinking, and turning more inwards to yourself. And I just really believe we have so many answers within us. So trusting yourself more and having that self-compassion and looking at how far you've come basically on your own. So far, I'm sure hopefully with, family and friends and lots of love around, but either way, you've gotten to where you are now on your own. So
Within you.
trust yourself. Trust
It's
yourself.
within you. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you so much
Oh,
for
thank
that.
you.
I'm sure it's a reminder for us to just be, and that's the thing that I remember from you today, just be, spend time more in the nature, eat whole foods. And it's actually simple what you said,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we overlooked. Sometimes we just forget about that. And
Yeah.
we want other external things that we want to do, like looking at the phones and doing unnecessary things that, like you said about drinking and smoking, is actually just for that moment, an escape, you might say. And it's a reminder for all of us to just be, you've got the answer within you. And
Yes.
thank you so much, Stephanie, for being a beautiful
you.
reminder for all of us.
Oh,
I really appreciate your knowledge, your time today. I'm sure this is valuable for people. And thank you
good.
so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.